go. So I know this isn't like hitting a button and, you know, having some fun. However, I promised that I was going to go live and I was going to show you all. Part of what I'm starting to do is every day I'm going to go live and I'm going to just showcase something for you so that you can see how to do it. And so today we are going to be painting this ocean scene picture. Absolutely awesome. You're going to love it. Now, if you are one of my subscribers, you are going to get directions afterwards, and also you are going to be entered into a drawing to win the picture that we paint. And I'll just be randomly drawing, and every week when we do something that's hands-on like this, we are going to draw a name, and if you're drawn, I am going to ship whatever it is to you. Free of charge. You don't have to do anything. You just have to provide, you know, where you want it at. So anyways, we're doing this ocean scene, and while we're doing this, we're just going to be talking about, you know, how's life, and last week how things treated me when I was at the casino, which was not that great, but that's okay. So all I have here, I'm just going to go ahead and move this picture down a little bit so I have a little room. So right now all I have is an 11 by 14 canvas. I do have the one with the backing on it. I prefer to use this. Sometimes I'll just use a board, and that's okay too. Whatever you have is fine if you want to follow along, if you want to grab something. And if not, don't worry. Once a week on Wednesdays, we are going to paint. And so just know going forward, if you want to join me, you are free to join me. So I also have, I don't have red Solo cups, and I was super sad. I have green and orange. They just have water in them. I've got my paintbrushes. I just have an array of paintbrushes. I don't have a special paintbrush that I use when I'm painting. I just use what I feel like using that day. Primarily, I'll go with this brush. I kind of like it, you know, to go back and forth. So I've got my paint in front of me. I'm using acrylic paint. I don't know if any of you have ever used acrylic paint, but what you need to know about it is it's going to wash off your skin, although I have a little mark on me from earlier. It'll wash off your skin. It's not really going to wash off your clothes. If you get it on your clothes, it's going to be a little tougher to get it out. But again, we're just painting. Here's another example of that ocean scene. This is what we're going to do tonight. I hope you stick with me. I am St. Christine. Please follow me. I talked a little bit on my videos. I'm kind of battling a rare neurological condition. They think I have this stiff person syndrome. I have MS and type 1 diabetes, and so things have been rough for me lately. I'm usually one of those people that works 2 or 3 jobs, and I haven't been able to work in a couple weeks just because of I'm under some treatment. So I'm getting better and I'm getting back at it. But anyways, so I am going to start. Number 1, I just dip my brush. So here, I'll put that there. Dip and wipe. Okay, dip and wipe. You don't want your brush when you're painting to be too wet. And I am not, I'm not in any way a self-proclaimed artist, but I love to do the push the button at a casino, but I also love to do other things. And so I was like, okay, if I'm going to go live, I'm just going to showcase some other stuff that I do, and then I'll still be posting videos of, you know, the other things. So, but anyways, so I'm just going to go ahead right now. I'm going to create the top part of this painting, and you can do any color that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dip a little white. I'm going to dip a little blue. This is, again, acrylic paint. I'm just going to go and I'm going to kind of do a motion of crisscross. And you don't want to go back and forth too much. Need a little more paint. I'm heavy on the paint. Now you could also, if you wanted, just go and do lines. Now if you're doing lines like this, what I will tell you is it's always important, one person taught me, to pretend like you're in traffic. So you can go one line above and one line below. But that's it, and that will give you that good mixture of color. So I'm just kind of squishing, I'm doing little X's, getting some different colors in there. You don't want to, I call these holidays when you have the white. You don't want holidays. Acrylic paint. Again, we're doing this ocean scene. I'm just doing the top. Make sure that you paint your top. A lot of times when I'm painting, I don't paint with a easel. I just find it gets in my way. I don't like it. So, but it's up to you. If you want to paint with an easel, you can. I'm just going across the top, kind of giving it. You want to make sure because people are going to see that. So again, thank you for joining this live. I am just showcasing how to paint this beach scene. And you definitely, if you're one of my subscribers, I'm going to go ahead and shoot you directions on how to do this. But even if you're not a subscriber, I'm going to show you how to do this. And you know, I'm pretty new to TikTok, so I don't know a lot about how it works. I just know for me, it's been a wonderful outlet and a very supportive community for me. And so I just really appreciate that so much. But yeah, so I'm going to, again, I just have 11 by 14 canvas. Does have that back on it. I'm just dipping my brush. I want to get a little more sky color going on up here. And I'm just kind of going back and forth. Now I could do the lines, and sometimes I will after I've gone back and forth, just to kind of make sure that it's blended a little better. I've got a holiday there, and I don't want that. And there we go. Here's our top. Now we're going to get into some purple. So for purple, I'm going to dip white, some red, and some blue. Mix it up just a little bit. And it'll even mix on the canvas itself. That's a little too dark for me. It's going to turn out just fine. That's better. There we go. Need a little bit more white in there. And I'm just going across. And you know, every time you paint, you get something different. So, you know, today I'm like, I don't know if I like that purple color, but I'm just going to keep working at it. And I'll get to where I need to be. It just takes work. Just like when you're at the casino, sometimes you're like, oh, you know, I'm going to leave this machine. And right when you leave it, you realize, hey, just hit a jackpot. Or it just got in a bonus. Why did I leave so soon? That's how it is when you gamble, isn't it? So, all right. So I'm going down. And, you know, for you guys, I'm just going to go ahead and make a little to here. And hopefully you can see that. I'm kind of going down with my color to there. And then I'm going to start something else. So, just going to go back. Maybe a little more blues in there. Different colors of purple. Making sure I get my sides, because there's nothing like having a picture hanging on the wall and you realize that you forgot the entire side of your picture. And that happens And has happened to me more than once where I'm like, oh my God, I forgot the whole thing. Just getting a little lighter as I come down. And again, thank you so much for joining me. Once a week, I'm going to do this paint class. I'm also going to showcase a bunch of other stuff. A cooking class. I've got a bunch of stuff that I'm going to be coming on here and doing, and I hope that you enjoy that. Thank you for supporting me. Okay, so I've made it down as far as I want to go. This is the top part of my picture. So this is, you know, and you don't want to go when it's wet. You don't want to go back through it. You want to wait. So, and a lot of times you don't really need to dip your brush to clean it off between colors. I will go ahead and dip it now. I'm going to flip this over and start at the bottom of my picture. So, and I actually maybe won't flip it over. I don't know if I need to yet. But I definitely want to make sure that I have a line here. And I think my line is going to be darker blue. Just to kind of separate, because the bottom of this picture is the ocean. So that is my separation. And again, like, I don't know, you know, if someone comes on here that paints for a living, they might tell me I'm doing it wrong. I'm okay with that. Because really, I just paint for fun. I do paint quite a bit. So yeah, so I'm gonna, now another trick is leave your brush in the water if you don't want to touch your painting, because we all have a habit. You'll get this perfect painting and then you're like, I gotta do some more stuff. And that's not gonna work well. So I'm just kind of like dip, 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 dip. And then I'm gonna wipe. Okay, so I've got my brush again. I've cleaned it off, which I do want to show you guys. Like, I'm dipping, dip, 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 and then just pull away. Just like that, pull away. You don't want a lot of water on your brush. I'm using acrylic paint. Acrylic paint will come off your skin, not off your clothes so well. So I have this like older shirt for Valentine's Day. I'm all hearted up for you. I got my hearts on. My heart's on my chest, not my sleeve. So, although sometimes it is on my sleeve. If you watched my video yesterday, it was on my sleeve for sure. I had a rough day yesterday. Okay, so now I am into my ocean scene. Now, everybody's different. Like, your vision, the first time you paint, you might look like, I have two different ones. I have this one that was done. And then I have, and that was like more of like storm cloud, like just, and then I have this one that was done that was more like tranquil. I was in a little bit of a different mood. So we'll see how this comes out. It's never going to come out exactly like the picture. And you really don't want it to, because we're so different. And that's the beauty, and I think that, you know, kindness wins. We're different, and that's okay. So I do have my paint like that I had already put like on my little, I used paper plates tonight, so usually I have the little fancy things, but I didn't do it today, so, and that's okay. So now I'm going to go into my ocean. Now, I love the ocean. I love to go cruising. I love to swim in the ocean. I love to swim in the ocean in Aruba. Aruba is probably my favorite place for ocean. The water was warm. You could see forever. And that's what I'm thinking of tonight when I'm doing this painting. I am channeling my inner Aruba. I just went there in September. I had a fabulous time. If you haven't been to Aruba yet, now with this, I am going to go lines kind of cross. So I'm going to start on my side here and just go over. I did load my brush up with a couple different shades of blue. And I'm just going to take it all the way. Now remember what I said, it's like being in traffic. You can go one up in the lane and one down. But you cannot go all the way back up. So right now I can't go all the way back up here. I shouldn't do that because it's going to mess me up. And I know everybody has a tendency to do that because you look at something and you're like, oh, I missed a spot. Just wait. We can correct things when we're done. And it works better because the paint will be dry, and then I can show you that technique as well. So right now I'm just going across and I'm making sure I'm in my lane. Now how many of you have heard this week, stay in your lane? If you haven't heard it, you just heard it now. Stay in your lane. Your lane is a beautiful lane. It was built just for you. I love that. I love it, love it, love it. All right, we're going to keep going across. And you see I'm just making like I'm going across. And then I might kind of come here, blend in. Got my deeper ocean. Now my ocean tonight is a lot bluer than what I normally would do. That's okay. I'm going to put a little green in my ocean. Little green. If you've been to Aruba, you know that the ocean has some green in it. Again, I'm just staying, and I have a pretty wide brush. I don't usually use such a wide brush. I have a pretty wide brush tonight. It's just what I picked, and there's no reason why. It's not because it's a better choice or anything like that. Okay, again, we're going to make our line. So my line is going to be here. My line is there. That's where I'm going to stop with my ocean. And normally, you know, I would be waiting. I would probably flip this, but my end is not dry yet. So I would probably flip it and wait. Just going back. Make sure you get the sides. I missed some. I'm going to add a little more white now as I get down to the bottom. A little lighter blue here as we're by the shoreline. There we go. Now we're going to wait. We are going to wait just a few minutes. And remember what I taught you, put your brush in while you're waiting, because you're going to have a tendency to touch that and to go up through it. So let's talk about some of the tips and tricks that you can do when you are not painting. One of the best things that I ever saw someone do, I know a lot of people do $100, they put $100 in, they'll start pennies, they'll do 2 cents, then 5 cents, then 10 cents, you know, and they'll just do 100 at a time. And they'll keep going up. That works for some people. For me personally, I like to load my machine with what's going to be in it, and then I'll kind of switch denominations and go up and back and forth. I have found in my years of traveling in different areas and different casinos that free play can be difficult to win on. I talked about my cruise to Aruba. I went through Carnival. I had a great time. You know, it's difficult because you're on a ship for 8 days, and you know, there's a casino right there. So unless you're at a port, you're probably going to go, like me, you know, if you like to do that. And I would definitely say that they have a large selection on the cruise ships, but you end up getting stuck kind of because your card that works to open your room, if you've ever been on a cruise, you'll know this, but if not, your card that you have a credit card on file, and the card that you're using to open your room is what you're using to stick in the machine. You can use cash too, though. So that right there, you're able to like draw off $1,000 at a time, $2,000, $3,000. I mean, the limit stops when your card hits and says it stops. So, you know, $25,000 later, it probably stops. Or maybe it doesn't if you have a higher limit. But yeah, be careful of those things. But I do like cruising. Oh my gosh, I love it. Love being in the ocean. Oh, and my cousin. I went with my cousin. She might be on here, I hope. I think someone just whispered she's on here. We had such a good time. It was a great time. But anyways, doing this ocean picture, this is the canvas I have. It has a front and a back. It doesn't matter what you use. You can use any canvas that you want. This is the outcome. This was on maybe a more tranquil day. This was on a more not so tranquil day. So what you get when you get on here is just all going to depend on when you start putting your colors onto your canvas, the mood that you're in. You could try to do two exactly alike, and it will probably never ever turn out exactly alike unless you're like a professional artist. I obviously am not. So I have now, like, remember I dipped, and then I'm going to go with my paper towel and I'm just going to wipe it off. You do not want too wet of a brush. And you also, this is acrylic paint, and so it will stain your clothes. It will come off your hands. But yeah. So I am down to here. This went pretty quickly. Now I'm going to get into my sand. So for my sand, I'm just going to bring my sand closer. I do have a mixture of some browns. Usually I mix it up. Tonight I just was like, I'm going to put it on the paper plate and have it pre-mixed. But it is a mixture. I'm still going to have to mix some of it because I don't like it so dark. I don't want real dark sand. So I'm still going to do some mixing of just my browns together. And for that, you could just squish it together, you know, mix it together, get the color that you think. When you have the color you think you want, put a little bit on like a paper plate and make sure. Because, you know, you don't want to get it on the canvas and then all of a sudden it's not the right color. And that can happen. So if you're just joining me, thank you so much. I'm St. Christine. You can like, follow, subscribe. If you subscribe, I was explaining this earlier, but I'll explain it again because I'm having a really hard time seeing who's on here, but I appreciate all of you. If you subscribe to my channel, number one, you're going to get exclusive access to knowing like what colors I used, how I did this. We are going to do a drawing for this painting, and I'm going to ship it to you if you're a subscriber. So, and then I'm going to be doing tangible things once a week. So those tangible items that we're doing together, those are going to be things that go in that drawing to be shipped to you. There'll be other things too that I do through the week. And then of course I'm still putting out my videos, which we know I love to go to the casino. So I'm still putting out those videos. But for now, like, you can't do that on a live. I found out I got in, I didn't do that. I just walked in to show what it looked like. and got shut off. So I learned my lesson. So I was like, I still want to go live. I want to be with my community, and you're my community. So I said, I'm going to paint a picture. I'm just going to show them how to paint this picture. So I hope you love it. Please. And if you don't, be kind, because I need it. So, all right. So I have my sand. I'm going to go all the way down with my sand. Now, I know you can see other things on this picture. That's okay. We are going all the way down with our sand, and then we will cover it up. We're going to have to let it dry. So we're going to go all the way down with our sand. We are just starting here, and I hope you can see that. We're just starting, and I have my sand color. And I'm just, now remember, you're traveling like in a car. Do not go more than one lane up or down when you're painting. That's kind of a big thing I learned. I used to take paint classes from this beautiful couple. They live down in South Dakota. They live in Spearfish. And I would take, my family actually, we would do, during the pandemic, we would do these paint classes. We didn't have anywhere to go. And I actually got the opportunity before the pandemic struck to meet the paint person in person. She did a paint class up in Deadwood at Cadillac Jack's, which is like my favorite place to go. So I was in Cadillac Jack's. She did a paint class. I got to attend that paint class. Just swoop, 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 down, 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 all the way down. Swoop, swoop, swoop. So anyways, I attended this paint class, and her and her husband were there. Absolutely fell in love with them. They actually used to live by where I lived in Sonora, California. And so yeah, it was great. So I got to meet her. Well, then when the pandemic struck, she had started doing online paint classes. And so my family got to do online paint classes with her. It was amazing. So I am going to do my bottom, and then we are going to let this dry a few minutes. How does everybody think this is going? Like, what do you guys think? Is it good? Woo! It's good! I hope. And if it's not, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Be kind. But I think it's good. And this is just like, I just want to come on here, have fun. You can learn a skill. Take it or leave it. I hope you're having a good time. I am not drinking the water because it's full of paint. I wanted red Solo cups because, I don't want to cry, but I was totally torn up by Toby Keith passing away. And I said, I got to paint with some red Solo cups, but I didn't have any. And it's really snowing. It was ice earlier, and now it's snowing. And I don't live near a store. A store is like 50 miles from me. Wait. Put my paint in the paintbrush because I'm like, I can see a few things right there I want to fix. Fix the stuff at the end. It works way better if you just wait. You have to pause. I'm working on that personally. So here's my TED Talk. I have a tendency, if someone hurts me, and I'm wearing my hearts on my chest today, not on my sleeve, but if someone hurts me, I have a tendency to sometimes just react. And I'm like, you have no idea what you're talking about, whatever. And lately I have been put in a position where I have to use a pause. And so I've been like, pause. Pause. They don't know you, and it doesn't matter. And like my grandpa used to say, in 100 years, it will not matter. And I would tell him that it would matter to me. And that isn't true, actually. Now I learned that I'm older, that it won't even matter to me. People are going to think what they think, and they're going to do what they do. And you just got to do you. You got to walk to the beat of your own drum. Dance in the rain. Whatever it is that makes you happy. I know that my cousin, she got me started on Poshmark several months ago. So I also sell on Poshmark, and that's been an experience for me because you know, it's you're picking out clothing items, and I think I have a pretty good style, but I always usually let her dress me. Like if we go on a cruise, she dresses me. She brings clothes for me cuz she has access to a lot of different things, and it's awesome. She dresses me, so and that's fine cuz she's got good taste. But anyways, this is my Aloha Aruba Free. Hola, hola. It's just drying. So I would say, what other tips can I give you? When you go to a casino, always make sure that you leave your checkbook and your credit cards and everything. Just take the money that you're going to spend. And I know it can be hard. I know it can be difficult, especially like when I was on the cruise ship, you know, you've got your sign and sale card that you use to get in your room. You stick it in a machine. You're floating $1,000 from your room because your credit card's on file. Well, yeah, it gets, you know, it can get expensive, and you may not be keeping track of that every time. Or maybe you're really good at that. So yeah, this is almost dry. My finger's kind of stuck on it. Yikes. Again, we are creating, in the end, something similar to this. It will not be exactly like this. It will never be exactly like what you've done before, and that's okay. So we're just waiting for it to dry a little bit. This is acrylic paint. I already had it out when I started, so I started with some browns. Usually I would mix those to make them, but I didn't do that this evening. Next week I will. And then I had some blues and some whites, a little bit of red, a little bit of green. Mixed some colors together to make our purple. Our purple, you know, our purple didn't come out as well as I wanted it. I wanted it a little bit lighter than that, but that's okay. Everything, it always comes out different. So if you're just joining me, thank you so much. This is St. Christine. Please subscribe to my channel. Support my channel. I'm going to be doing a lot of fun things. I'm going to be going live every single day. We're going to have a lot of fun time together. I'm going to do some cooking. We're going to talk about, you know, my main thing that I do is pushing a button, you know, at a casino. But you can't do that on a live. So I'm just going to come here, and we're going to do different things every day. And it's going to be super fun. So at least I hope it's super fun for you too. So yeah, I've been watching some other people's lives. Absolutely love it. I'm going to do like an exercise video. I gained 20 pounds. I ate Ritz crackers and PB2 peanut butter. I don't know. Have you guys ever tried PB2 peanut butter? You mix it up with water. I don't eat real peanut butter anymore, like out of like a jar or whatever. I always mix it with that PB2. It's less fat. I love it. But if you eat it with like 30 Ritz crackers, you're going to gain 20 pounds. Living testimony. In real life. True color. Do not eat Ritz crackers with it. You can eat it like, you know, another way, like on celery maybe. But I didn't. I ate it with Ritz crackers. And it really showed. And yeah. But we're going to do some exercise videos. I'm super excited for those. And I'm going to finish this painting, but it's got to dry. So right now, and I know some people use hair dryers to dry their painting to speed it up. I'm not one of those people. Just because I tend, when I use a hair dryer, I will get it too close and then I move my paint a little bit, and I don't want it to move from where I have it. So I can see I have a few holidays. Do you guys know what those are? Holidays are where you missed a little spot. If you see you missed a little spot, don't go back and redo it right away. Wait till it dries. And then you're just going to gently swoop it down. So you're going to put the paint colors you want and just swoop, 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 and kind of blend it in. And it will go way better than if you just go back. You're going to get a deeper color every time you go back, a different color. You're not going to like it anymore. So, but I love the ocean. Some of you will know, like I got my little Moana tattoo. I absolutely love the ocean. Love to swim in the ocean, but I don't live near the ocean. So I only get to take little trips once in a while. But yeah, we are almost ready. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to complete the bottom of our picture. Now the bottom of our picture, we have a fence line, we have some grass, we've got some green area in here. I'm not real sure if I want to put, it almost went. I'm like, oh God, please don't do that. I'm not really sure if I want to put green grass in here this time. I've got to dip, 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 dip. And I need a new paper towel here. And again, make sure when you're doing this, I'm just going to show you. You're kind of squishing your brush in, kind of tapping it out, and then rubbing it on the paper towel. Get that water off it. You don't want a lot of water with acrylic paint. And I had these paper towels already ready for me. I use a lot of, I'm messy. I'm a messy eater. If you're taking me out to a restaurant, you better be prepared because I'm super messy. And I always have like a plate here and something here and something here and something. And that's just how it is. Although I'm super like, I'm kind of a clean freak. So after I eat, everything has to be perfect too. So yeah, just telling you secrets I shouldn't tell you. All right, so just telling you secrets I shouldn't tell you. All right, so, oh dear Lord. Okay, so I'm going to do my fence line first. So I'm just going to, I just have to look at how I did this the last time. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and here. All right. So for my fence line, I'm just taking it and I'm just kind of like, so if you saw that, I just kind of moved it up. And you do not want everything to be the same length. You want to make sure you have different areas of length on your picture because these are your boards and this is an old like fence, so nothing is going to be the same. Unless you want it to be. And then I suppose, do it. You do you, boo. But I'm just taking it. Okay. And here's my opening, so I'm going to take this. So if you can see that. And again, it can have some different shapes to it. They're old boards, so they're not going to be, they're kind of weathered. And I've used this brush the entire time. The same brush. I have not switched to a different brush. Normally, I will do that. I will just use the same brush. There is one thing that we're going to switch to a different brush, but not quite yet. So now I've just got to go across my boards and create where they're conjoined together. And that's just a little line. You can also do where you just tap it. Totally up to you. I'm just going to go with the line. And there's my boards. And I'll do a little bit better of a line here. Maybe take this board there. Okay, there's my boards. Now for my boards, I need to get some shading on them because they're not going to look right if I don't. Same brush, just do a little shading on it. So just a little, you're just tapping one side of your board and just doing a tiny bit of shading. So again, just a line. You're just doing a line. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I would suggest staying going the same way. That usually works best for me. Again, it's just taking the line. Gonna go ahead and tap it in. I'm just taking some white, mixing it a little bit with my black. So I don't want a stark line. I want it to be more of a gray color. So that's what I'm getting. Because again, these are weathered boards. They're not perfect. When I come across my fence line down here, I'm going to try and get a better edge on my brush. Because again, I've been using this brush. And I'm just going to very lightly tap across to get that look. Okay. And I think I want maybe one little, yeah, one little kind of off-centered. I did go in with a little brown just to give it a little bit of a different look. Okay, I'm going to now go ahead and take this brush and I am going to dip it in the water and rinse it out because it does have that black in it. And if I go to my next color, which is green, and I have that black, it's going to mess me up. Remember, just go ahead and take your brush and get that water out. You do not want too much water on your brush. If you're new coming on, we're making this picture. I am St. Christine. Please like and follow me. The picture turns out different each time you make it. So this picture is going to be different than the pictures I've done in the past. If you make a mistake up here, like I can see to my eye, I have some holidays, which means places that I missed, like through here. I'm going to come back and fix those at the end. Don't go over your paint while you're doing it too many times because you'll get it too dark, too light. You will not like it. And try not to go back too often because usually what you get the first time is the best. The more you mess with it, and that's why I always say when you're not painting, keep that brush in your water. The more you mess with it, the more it's going to probably get to be to a point where you don't like it anymore. Okay, so I've got here down here, and this is still a little bit wet, you guys. I didn't dry it with a hairdryer. It's a little bit wet still. Usually it takes probably 15-20 minutes to dry. I didn't take that long. My next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of this green. I'm going to put some white over here. So I don't want it to be too dark of green. Kind of want to lighten it up a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to do some grass. So at the bottom, I'm going to do some grass on this beachy area. So I'm just kind of, and I got it a little too light. So I'm just like taking it and coming up. Here, here, just coming up. And you don't have to do this grass part. This is just something that, you know, I thought I would do because I did it in some of my other pictures. You can grab different shades of green, maybe not so light. Totally up to you. I'm going to leave this pathway blank. So between here and here, it's going to be blank right now. And again, I'm just kind of coming up and down. Another thing that you can do that I love, which I'm going to show you, is a fan brush. Now, I've used this brush, super dirty, but I've used this brush for the whole painting. But now, if you wanted, you could take a fan brush, dip it, get that water out. Don't leave that water in there. Put it in your paint and fan it up. And that makes really good grass as well. This is probably my favorite. So I usually do use a fan brush when I'm painting. I'll usually use 3 brushes. I use a bigger brush that's just a wide angle, which is what I've used through this whole painting. And then I'll use a fan brush because I just love the way it makes things look. I love the definition, you know, the defining qualities that it gives me. And there I go. And I painted my bottom. Woohoo, I remembered. I don't always remember that. And then I have to go back. Okay. So now I am going to, so I said I usually use 3 brushes. This is a round brush. I'm going to go to my round brush because I want to create like some footprints. I'm going to dip. And I'm actually going to change my water. I'm going to change my water. Water boy. I'm going to change my water. I have water right there. Yeah, I gotta have clean water. That's another thing, like people use their water and they get it really super dirty. I can't. I'm always like, oh. Okay, so I'm going for some brown, and I'll just show you kind of what it looks like here. I have some footprints coming up, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some footprints in the sand. Aruba sand. Woohoo, Aruba! Do you guys like to travel? I love to travel. All right, I'm going to be like, okay, so when I'm doing my footprints, it's going to be like print, and that's a little too light. So this is a round brush, and I'm just going to go plop, 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 plop. I'm not going to like be really worried about being too symmetrical, I guess you could call it. I might do some like kind of off to the side, like maybe I came down here. The idea is that if you're going to do this, remember that you have usually 2 feet. Because sometimes, you know, you do it and you're like, where'd my other foot go? So I'm just going to go and, okay. I'm happy with that. All right. Now remember I said brushes in the water if you're not using them. So I have my brushes in my water. Now I'm going to look and I'm going to say, what do I want to change about this picture? What needs to be changed? And so for me, I want to put a little bit of a white cap in my sea. So that's when this fan brush comes in handy. So I'm going to take the white, but I'm going to still put a little blue in it, because if you don't, it's too stark and you don't want it to be stark. So, and this is just a very light touch, very light across. So kind of follow it through. Follow through. There you go. On, how would I see it if I was in the ocean? It's up here and it's kind of swirling. Down here. And I saw, remember we talked about those holidays, I can see one. So I'm just going to cover it with a little bit of a wave. It doesn't take a lot of paint. Now I want to create more of a line here. Okay, I have some areas up here that I missed. Brush is in the water. It's the wrong brush. Now, if you missed something, remember we talked about not going back to it right away. Again, I'm just taking my brush and I'm getting that water off. I dipped it in the paint. I'm getting it off. Now, when you come back to fix something, light touch. This has no paint on it. You're going to just light touch and be done. And call it a day. Call it good. Okay, so I have areas up here that I missed. You probably wouldn't see them. But for me, as someone who has painted this picture, I'm like, I don't like that. I missed that. So I'm going to come back. And I want to make sure that I am getting the color pretty good for where I'm at. So I'm just going to come back and light touch. And this is going to add some definition to my painting because it's kind of like going over it. So it's going to add a little bit of a different color. But just the areas that I see. Boom, done. I have one area over here. Bada boom, bada bing. Ready? Right there. All right. I kind of wanted a little more definition there. Okay. Again, my line, I'm not happy with that line. I can fix it. Just going to go and make my line. All right. I am now happy with it. Okay. Is there anything I want to add? From my original picture that I did, I need to add one more fence line. I need to add a bottom fence line, I think. So I'm going to do that. And again, that takes a little bit of coming back and forth. because I'm going to add my fence line. Here I go. There's my bottom line. But then I'm going to take and I'm going to make it gray. Now, if you notice, maybe you caught this. I did not dip my brush. I did not clean this brush out. It's perfectly fine the way it is. Got my bottom line here. There's my fence line. There's my painting. We are good to go. We're going to let it dry. Woo! We did it! So please follow me. I know if you've seen my videos that I love to be at a casino. I'm going to continue posting videos every day of my wins, my losses, all those fun different things. But also I'm going live daily, and we are going to be doing fun stuff together. I'm going to cook. I am going to do more painting. I am going to take you on a field trip. We're going to do field trips together. I live next, well, not next. I live about an hour and a half away from a place called Medora. So it's Medora, North Dakota. Look it up. They have a beautiful musical there in the summer. It's an old town. Right now, most of it's empty. However, they've got stagecoach, right? It's just the coolest thing. It's almost as cool as Deadwood, although they don't have gambling there. But anyways, they have super fun stuff. I'm going to take you down to Medora. It is by Theodore National Roosevelt Park. And we will go to the park. It's just so awesome. We're going to take field trips together once a week. We are going to paint once a week. We are going to cook. We're going to exercise. We're going to be healthy minded. And on my videos, you're going to see that we're doing some gambling too, because that's really what I love to do. But I also have other hobbies. Painting is one of them. Love to paint, and thought that this might be, something fun for all of you too. If you subscribe to my channel, you are going to be getting entered into a drawing to win this original painting. Whether you subscribe or not, I don't care. You're still coming with us on these adventures, and I love to bring you with me. I have had so much support from every single one of you, and it's been so healing for my heart. If you watched my video from yesterday, you're going to kind of get a better idea of some of the things I've been going through lately. And I think you'll really appreciate, this journey with me a little bit more. So I do encourage you to go watch that video from yesterday and kind of see. It's kind of, instead of my heart on my chest, I have my heart on my sleeve, and you'll kind of see that. But I hope that you loved doing this painting with me. I had a lot of fun with you. And again, if you are one of my subscribers, you're going to be entered into a drawing, and I will ship this painting to you once, if I draw your name. If I don't draw your name, don't worry, because there's other things that we are going to be doing together that that you can get drawn for. I have some cute little bumblebees I'm going to teach you how to crochet, some little turtles, like I said, the cooking, that we're going to have fun every single day. Every day! So I am going to be back here tomorrow, and I hope that you're able to join me. I hope that you had a good time tonight. If you have any questions, please message me. Ask me about this. That's fine. Totally fine. Ask anything that you need. Just let me know. Ask me, what I used, what this is. I'll go over it one more time. 11 by 14 canvas. I did use one with the back. You could use a board canvas